In a forgotten and lonely corner of the city, where the lights barely reached and the silence was broken only by the sound of the howling wind, a homeless dog and her 6 puppies struggled to survive. They had found an improvised refuge under a stone cave, where they took shelter from the biting cold that passed through the night. The icy wind did not spare their fragile bodies, which trembled incessantly, and the relentless hunger gnawed at their stomachs, making every minute more difficult to bear. The cubs, still so small, barely had the strength to move. His eyes, large and scared, shone in the darkness, reflecting the fear and uncertainty that dominated that moment. The mother, exhausted and desperate, did her best to warm them with her own body, but even she felt her energy draining quickly. The imminent storm, which approached with heavy and threatening clouds, was an omen that things could get worse at any moment. However, amid the desolation, a person with a compassionate heart crossed the path of that family in despair. Upon seeing the dog and her puppies, the person felt a mixture of sadness and urgency. I knew I needed to act quickly. Without hesitation, he sought help, and soon rescue teams arrived at the scene, ready to save those innocent lives. The rescuers approached with great care, realizing that any sudden movement could scare the dogs even more. The mother dog, although scared, seemed to understand that those people were there to help. With gentle gestures and reassuring words, the rescuers managed to gain her trust and, little by little, persuaded the family to come out of their rocky hiding place. It was a moment of relief when everyone was finally removed from that dangerous situation. The dog and her puppies were taken to a shelter, which, despite being simple, offered what they needed most: warmth, security, and, above all, love. There, a dedicated and compassionate adoptive mother welcomed them with affection. She made sure they had enough food, fresh water, and, of course, lots of treats to make them feel loved. The cubs, so fragile and vulnerable, began to recover. They were vaccinated, protecting them from diseases that could be fatal in their weakened state. The mother, who until then only knew the harshness of life on the streets, could finally relax, knowing that her little ones were safe. The nights that were once cold and terrifying were now spent in a cozy shelter where everyone curled up together, finding solace in the warmth of their bodies and the protection of their new home. As the days passed, the transformation was remarkable. The eyes, which were previously dominated by fear and distrust, began to shine with new hope. The puppies, now stronger, played and explored the space around them, while their mother, now recovered, watched with a serenity that she had not felt for a long time. The story of that canine family, which began so tragically, was being rewritten with love and dedication. In the arms of her foster mother, the dog and her puppies knew that, for the first time, they were safe. The nightmare was behind us, and the future, which before seemed so dark, was now brightened by the promise of better days, full of affection and protection. They had found not just a shelter, but a home where they could finally live in peace and happiness.